Main event, Simon Miller. Talk about things we love to see. Hello and welcome to FTTR, I am Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about Sov Pro Wrestling. Heavy is the head. We are diving back to the year of our Lord 2023, and we are talking about the second Sov Pro show that happened at the Manchester Academy back on the 5th of February 2023. Going back in time. And yeah, this is following on from my review of their initial show back in 2022, and this show, man, this show was, if the way I feel about this show is that the first reign, was almost like a proof of concept, you know, sort of like what we can do with this promotion, what sort of different things can we do. Heavy as the Head was the debut episode. You know, I really enjoyed first reign, but coming out Heavy as the Head was insanely good, like insanely good. It was just stacked with great matches. It was chocked full of angles and story progression as well. It felt like a real season premiere, and I loved it. This was a fantastic show. I have a few things that I wasn't 100% on. The main one being, I'll just get it over with here, I thought it was a little bit too long. It was a little bit too long for my taste, but overall, I had an absolute blast watching this. So, shall we dive straight into it? Because like I said, this is a chock-a-block show. Hit subscribe, like this video, let me know your thoughts, and I'll try to reply to every single one of them as we dive into this, starting with the crowning of the inaugural Women's Sov Pro Champion in a big scramble match. So for anyone who's unfamiliar, this was a championship scramble, pretty much. Championship scramble is there are roughly 6 people in a match. Whoever gets pinned, the person doing the pinning, they become champion, and then if someone else is pinned, they become the champion. Whoever is left at the end is your champion, your inaugural champion, and in this it was the champion-elect. They became the champion-elect if they scored a pinfall victory, and I love scramble matches. They were in one SmackDown vs. Raw game. Unfortunately, I think SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, the best SmackDown vs. Raw game, and yeah, we finally got a proper championship scramble, and I bloody loved it because some of the women in this match were absolutely sensational. So you started off with Lizzie Evo coming out, and she runs down the crowd. She's got anti-Manchester stuff, pro-Liverpool graphics. What can I say? Absolutely amazing heel work. And then Harley Hudson is entering second, and they go at it, and they have a really fun sequence. So Harley Hudson and Lizzie Evo are going at it, and Lizzie Evo is the first champion-elect. She manages to get the pin. We then have Lucia Lee enter at number 3, and there's some great sequences between the three. I thought they all worked really well. Then Harley Hudson, she manages to get the championship-elect by pinning Lizzie Evo. Then entering at number 4, you had Tonga. Feels like ages since I've seen Tonga wrestle. She's so unbelievably good, and she was unbelievably good because she managed to pin Lucia Lee. She becomes the champion-elect. Then Mercedes Blaze comes in, and she starts running wild. That is when everything just sort of breaks down, and you have brawling all over the place. Mercedes Blaze manages to hit a cutter and then pin Tonga, and then we have LA Taylor coming in, and this just became the sort of LA Taylor Harley Hudson show because they were the ones who were trading the pinfalls, because Harley Hudson pinned Mercedes Blaze to become champion-elect, then LA Taylor gets a pin and she becomes champion-elect, then Harley Hudson pins Lucia Lee to become champion-elect, and then LA Taylor pins Lizzie Evo to become champion-elect, and then it just turned into a huge scramble in which I really like the strategy of this because LA Taylor is just pulling people out of the ring so they can't get pinned. People are rolling to the outside, and yeah, it got really damn good by the end. Like the tension, you could cut it with a knife, particularly when the countdown was happening. And LA Taylor, she won. She became the inaugural Sov Pro Women's Champion. The absolute right decision following this match. I thought this match was really damn fun, and LA Taylor was super like protected here. She looked awesome. She was like dominating everyone. With what's to come, we'll find out why. Yeah, I had no problems with this. This was a really fun, entertaining, top-notch scramble match. Then we had a backstage bit with Bullet and LA Taylor showing their mates. We'll get back to that. Then we had one of my favourite heel gimmicks of all time, and that is Thatcher Wright of Thatcher's Cabinet. He comes down and he starts running down the crowd, and he's interrupted by none other than the banter bus. And the banter bus, I think, are the perfect foils for Thatcher Wright, because they're just so opposing. They could not be more opposed in terms of sort of the ideologies and characters, and that made perfect sense. Then you had the sort of squaring off. You had Tom Thelwell turning up late. It was all really well done, and it built to, Thatcher Wright being ran out of the ring. Awesome stuff, really fun, sets up a storyline going forward. I can't wait to see it pay off. Then we got probably the match of the night, one of the best matches that I have seen in a goddamn while. That includes present, past, whatever. I can't believe I missed this, because I was going to go to this show, but I didn't want to go because I was too scared to go on my own. I did not go to wrestling shows on my own back in 2022. That has now changed. So I'm gutted that I missed this, because it was Endakara versus Leon Slater. And my God, this match was phenomenal. I've written like a page of notes on this, but it's just so hard to go down. It started off so quick, doing arm drags, kipping up, trying to outdo one another. I thought Endakara has a really cool look to him as well, and going in there with Leon Slater. Leon Slater was like, I don't know how old he was at this point, but pretty damn young. And they're just tearing the house down. They are going so quick, running the ropes so quick, dodging each other. It was insane to see. You had some really innovative spots in there where it looks like Leon Slater's going to do his handspring back elbow, and Endakara just kicks the hand. He's sort of going for the arm, targeting the arm quite a lot in this match. I liked that they told that story to sort of take away the arm and the mobility there of Leon Slater. You had Kara locking in lots of submissions. He countered the handspring multiple times. One time he locked in a choke. Then he also manages to lock in a crossface as well, sort of wrenching back on that arm. You had an insane blue thunderbomb counter from Leon Slater, which was just a thing of beauty. He misses a 450, Swanton 450, and just face plants the floor. Then Endakara comes back. He hits his move. It was just non-stop, and it went for about 20 minutes. It was a pretty long match, and it just went at a relentless pace. You then had Leon doing the huge dive over the turnbuckle. They both get back in, they're trading strikes, huge leg lariat from Leon Slater. Then you had the ending of the match in which Kara manages to get Leon Slater up on the turnbuckle. Leon Slater hits an insane spinning neck breaker from the top rope. Then the Swanton 450 picks up the win. Absolutely fantastic match. This was sensational. I think definitely the best match on the show. One of the coolest, now we can say it, I guess, X Division matches that I've seen. Yeah, this was insanely good, insanely fast paced. I loved it. Then we had a backstage promo from the banter bus, which was all fun and games. And then we had a very fun tag match between RPD and HT Drake taking on the 8-7 Alexander Roth and Roy Johnson. This was, it had a lot to follow. It had a lot to follow, and while it didn't live up to the hypes of that insanely high-flying match before, I thought this told a really good story. This was Tag Team 101, and I think they did it to perfection, because the story of this match was cutting that goddamn ring in half. This really felt like the 87 were just completely over HT Drake. They had literally drawn a line in the sand, and they would not let him cross, because they would just stop him and stop him and stop him, work over limb after limb after limb. It slowed the pace down a bit, but I really like the psychology that they did within that, and it wasn't a boring beatdown. It was quite gripping to watch. Then you had the hot tag to RPD. HT Drake manages to tag him in, and RPD just runs wild. He's got sort of the boxing background. He's laying in strikes, he's hitting neck breakers, the whole shebang, just absolutely destroying everyone in the ring. But ultimately it was the 8-7 who picked up the win. They hit this really cool foot stomp slam kind of thing. There was a frog splash on HT Drake first, and then they get RPD, they get him in like an air raid crash, then a stomp, 1, 2, 3, they pick up the win, they go to the back, and then we had a big post-match angle, because who should come out but none other than Rory Coyle. Rory Coyle cuts an excellent promo, making his way down to the ring, saying he needs a co-star and a protagonist. Who's going to be who? Then HT Drake low blows RPD, they beat down RPD, hit him with the VHS tape, and it looks like Rory Coyle has found his protagonist. His protagonist is going to be RPD, setting up a great feud right there. I can't wait to see where this goes. I thought this was probably the best angle on the show, just because Rory Coyle's promo was so good, so good. And yeah, I can't wait to see where this goes. I can't wait to dive back into this and see where this ends up. Yeah, This was fantastic. Then we had Commander Sterling making their way to the ring, and it looks like they were supposed to have a triple threat match, but unfortunately someone didn't want to be part of that match, didn't want to be part of a three-way with, quote, someone like them. And, you know, I think this is a great story to tell for Commander Sterling. I think it's going to be really fun, particularly when you bring out the antagonist, that being Shreddy. Shreddy, who I think is phenomenal on the microphone. And Shreddy comes down, runs down Commander Sterling, says he broke Shreddy's arm. Shreddy's arm is broken. His shoulder is separated, I think, actually. And he won't be able to compete. He doesn't want to compete with someone like Sterling. And the crowd, again, massively involved in this. Shreddy's getting insane heat. And then Commander Sterling is jumped by Sam Bailey. Sam Bailey jumps the ring, starts wailing on Sterling. And then we have a match. We have the owner of Sov Pro come out. He makes the match himself, and yeah, we have an impromptu match between Sam Bailey and Commander Sterling. Immediately Sterling hits this big wheel kick, which looked awesome, and then this didn't go very long. This went like 3 minutes. Sam Bailey, gets a little bit of offense in, but Sterling ultimately hits a really cool sort of Vader Bomb-esque elbow, which looked awesome, and then a big choke bomb for the 1-2-3. Definitive win. Can't wait to see where Sterling goes from here. I'm invested in this. I'm invested in Sterling getting their hands on Shreddy, because what a bastard. Then we had a great match for the Impact Wrestling Championship. Josh Alexander defending against Kez Evans. Now, I was like, I love Josh Alexander. I think Josh Alexander is so great, and this was the longest match on the show, and they went out there and they had an Impact main event. This was so damn good, went way longer than I expected. Alexander put a shift in, and Kez Evans looked amazing coming out of this as well. I thought this was phenomenal booking. And the story of this match was that Kez was getting overwhelmed. Josh Alexander had the majority of this match towards the early going. It was only when his eyes got raked and the underhanded tactics from Kez Evans came back into play and he would start getting the offense in. He did like some Randy Orton-esque stomps on Josh Alexander, and Josh Alexander would just he'd be getting more fired up. He was getting frustrated. You could sort of see him gritting his teeth a little bit in this match, and I appreciated that aspect. Both men were trading submissions. We had chokes, we had ankle locks. The ankle lock would get rolled through. It was, really good technical stuff. But when you also got into the striking as well, where Josh Alexander was like laying chops into Kez, I was like, they're going for pound here. You also had some really good near fall moments. You had a low blow from Kez as the ref was in front of him. That was a really good one, because you're like, maybe. And Josh Alexander kicked out at just the right time to make us believe in that near fall. But ultimately, it was Josh Alexander who managed to pick up the win here. He just got frustrated, and he locked in an ankle lock on Kez Evans and made him tap. It was like a weird ankle lock as well, because he was like facing him. He caught his knee in the rope first and did that knee stomp kind of thing to really take out the leg, then just locked in the ankle lock. Perfect. Awesome. Loved it. This was a fantastic match, and one of my favourite matches of the night. Next match we got was Smashing Mike with Smashing Mike's dad versus Ian Skinner. Now, I think the custody thing was here. I think if Ian Skinner won, he would have become Smashing Skinner, maybe. But this was fun. This was funny. I think Ian Skinner is so good, and Smashing Mike was great as well. But Ian Skinner, the way he wrestles is insane. Some of the stuff he did, when he got rolled back into the ring, he did a kick up straight into a lariat. That looked amazing, and he's great on the mic. It was awesome. That is not to say anything bad about Smashing Mike, because Smashing Mike looked awesome as well, because he was hitting like Samoa Joe-esque moves here. He did the walkaway spot, which was awesome. He just had the big power game over Skinner, and he was battering him pillar to post at some points. It looks like Skinner might pick up the win, because he has sort of Smashing Mike dead to rights, but Smashing Mike's dad gets in the ring. Hero of the day. And he gets low blowed for his sins, unfortunately, but that gives Smashing Mike the opportunity. Locks in a big full Nelson, hits a beautiful looking full Nelson slam. 1, 2, 3, picks up the win. Awesome. This was fun. I enjoyed all of it. Then we had the collective, Danny Duggan, Kelly Six and Leighton Buzzard taking on RJ Singh and the models, Danny Hope and Joey Hayes. This was probably the match where I felt the length of the show. Like, I enjoyed the show tremendously. But I think if ever there was, I know we've got to establish the collective, I really understand that. But for me, this is the match that didn't necessarily hit because it sort of played sort of standard trios match to an extent. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I love seeing the collective. I think the collective is such an awesome faction / gimmick. The merch is cool. Everything about it is awesome. And I love everyone involved in it. The match itself, I thought was good. Not great. It was sort of standard trios fare. Joey Hayes would get isolated. He'd make a hot tag to Danny Hope. He'd come in. Then RJ Singh was also making hot tags. It was sort of like baby faces get worked over, make the hot tag. It was a little bit too standard for my taste. Something I need to mention about this match is that Bullet was out there as an enforcer. He was there to potentially make a pin because there was time when he was, counting threes. He was doing the ref's job when the ref had been taken out, and he nearly scored Joey Hayes the win because he got a near fall on, I believe it was Kelly Six, I think that was being pinned. Then you had it all sort of break down. You had Danny Hope get taken to the back. He's injured. The refs have gone with him, which is why Bullet is the main official. Then you had a tombstone from Danny Duggan to RJ Singh to the floor. And then we had the moment. We had Leighton Buzzard. I think it was Leighton Buzzard. I can't remember who had the chair. It was either Kelly Six or Leighton Buzzard, I think, pulls the chair into the ring and goes to use it on Joey Hayes. Bullet wipes the chair off him. Valiant babyface Bullet. No, bastard Bullet, because he just clocks Joey Hayes in the back with a chair. Then it is a big sort of Death Valley driver from Leighton Buzzard for the 1, 2, 3. Bullet has joined the collective. Awesome. And if that wasn't the great enough angle, then we had more coming, because as they are beating down the good guys, they're beating down Joey Hayes and Singh. Holly Hudson runs down, the real life partner of Joey Hayes. I didn't know that. Interesting fun fact of the day. I now know that. And who should come down but LA Taylor? LA Taylor comes down. It looks like she's going to make the save because Bullet has Holly Hudson in a chokeslam position. Instead, drops it down. LA Taylor drops Holly Hudson. She's in the collective as well. We have 2 new members for the collective. The match itself, I thought was fine. The angle afterwards, I thought was awesome. What a swerve to have 2 heel turns. Even though I don't know how we didn't see it coming, but it got me. It worked me. And what can I say? Like, really fun match. Really damn good angle afterwards. I was a massive fan of this. The next match that we got was Brady Phillips taking on Sam Gradwell. This was really good. This didn't go too long, like 10 minutes or so. And yeah, I'm a massive fan of Brady Phillips. Like, seeing Brady Phillips for the first time this year at Catch Pro Wrestling, I was like, he's awesome. Why isn't he in more places? Because he's got a really good moveset, a really great look. And seeing him in Sov Pro up against Sam Gradwell as well, where they were having really stiff fist exchanges. It was a great showcase for Brady Phillips. He looked awesome. It started off with Sam Gradwell just getting out the ring, brawling with Brady Phillips, sort of throwing him into barricades, and it sounded really, really loud. Then they got back in the ring, and then they started trading strikes, and I was like, oh, damn. These are some stiff strikes. You had a great underhook suplex from the top rope from Brady Phillips for a near fall. You had them trading strikes and ending with a great rolling elbow from Brady Phillips, which got him a near fall. And then we had the sort of undoing of Brady Phillips. You had this great spot in which Sam Gradwell goes for like a diving shoulder tackle and gets caught with an uppercut. Then Brady Phillips hits a beautiful spinning pile driver. 1, 2, and then no. He sort of picks the head up of Sam Gradwell, and I was like, where are we going with this? It's an interesting call to make, and that was ultimately his undoing. It looks like Phillips is trying to get the appreciation of Gradwell. He's like offering to shake his hand quite a lot, but Sam Gradwell's kind of just having none of it. He hits 2 Samoan drivers for near falls. You get the second driver, and that's when it looks like Brady wants to shake the hand of Gradwell, and that kind of just pisses Sam Gradwell off, and Sam Gradwell runs in, starts wailing on Brady Phillips, and gets a TKO win. I wasn't too keen on the finish. I think if it had been like a more impactful beatdown then maybe it could have been a TKO finish. I get Brady Phillips looks like he's completely out of it, but I think the beatdown needed to be a bit more severe for it to be a TKO, I suppose. Maybe like multiple of the Samoan drivers, for instance. But I like the idea of it, and I like the bit after the match when it looks like Brady Phillips is knocked out, and that is when Sam Gradwell shakes the hand. I think that's excellent. I think that's a really nice story beat for him to go, you didn't shake my hand. Why didn't you shake my hand when I was, conscious? I think it's a nice story beat, and I really enjoyed this match. I enjoyed the match, and I just wasn't keen on the TKO necessarily. Then we had the main event, Sov Pro Championship, as Joseph Connors defends against Simon Miller. Now, I loved this match. I thought this match was great. What I really enjoyed about this match is they did such a good job of, because this was like 2023, so like Simon's not been wrestling for a long time, so you're putting Simon Miller in a main event position, where he could be exposed, because he's probably not had a lot of wrestling training. I can't remember when he started his wrestling training, but he definitely wasn't in like big main events at this point. What I loved about this match is it played to the strengths of the characters. Joseph Connors being a bastard and Simon Miller being beloved, in that they didn't need work rate or anything like that. Instead, crowd brawls, Sting crowd brawls, did perfect. It did exactly what you needed it to do, because you had Joseph Connors getting thrown against things, thrown against barricades, thrown through doors. It was the exact kind of nonsense that sort of covers the fact that maybe Simon wasn't necessarily in the wrestling position at this point, but you can have him in a main event because he's doing awesome stuff like this. He's doing his spears, he's doing his Falcon arrows. I loved it. You had both men brawling all the way around the Manchester Academy. You had a great bit where they're by the back of the chairs and it looks like Simon's going to spear Joseph Connors. He goes to do the spear, but instead Joseph Connors pushes the chairs in the way and Simon clocks his knee. That was all really well done. Then you had them brawling to the stage. Simon gets scoop slammed on the stage, brawl down to the floor. Joseph Connors gets a mic. He starts running down the crowd, doing great heel work. Joseph Connors is super underrated. And then you got into the ring and you had probably about 5 minutes or so of match left, and that had shenanigans as well. You had Joseph Connors chopping Simon Miller all the way around the ring, every single turnbuckle, and then he does one chop too many. Simon fires up, starts making that comeback, starts hitting big move, big slams, big shoulder tackles. He's just running down Connors, and he does get some near falls in there, some very close ones. He gets a great spear near fall after the ref was, taken out, unfortunately, so he got the visual pin, but then he had another near fall with a roll up, which was really well done, very, very close as well. I thought they did it perfectly. It is after the roll up though that Joseph Connors gets the win, because he manages to clock Simon with the belt right in the face for a 1-2 near fall. Very, very well done. Then he hits the sort of straight jacket neck breaker for the 1-2-3, retaining his title against Simon. I thought this had great heat to it. It had great animosity. It was very well executed. It served the story that they set up in the first one after the sort of assault on Warhorse after the match, and the sort of tirade that Joseph Connors went on afterwards, and then foiled by Simon after that. Yeah, it did. It was really well done. Really well done main event, and it capped off what I thought was a fantastic show. Like an absolutely fantastic show. One that I wish I was there live for, because it looked like so much fun. Overall, I give this 4.5. Really enjoyed it, like really enjoyed it. And yeah, I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Have you watched this show? Do you want to check out more Sov Pro? Are you going to check out more Sov Pro? All their shows are on YouTube. I will link them in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll try to reply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.